Software y Nacon. Sombreado. A ver, ¿dónde es la comunidad? Esta vez vamos a omitir mi Nacon. Chucha. Ahí es con español, bla bla bla, activada. Debo jugarla con mouse. Puta mierda. Bueno, démosle. Jugar prólogo o omitir prólogo. Unity, bla bla bla.
When time first began, the Eternal gave life to powerful beings of light, the Dracoons. But as misfortune would have it, the power given to these creatures was pride and an inexhaustible thirst for dominion. Shaken to the deepest abyss of Dracomundus, cities that we know today as dragons. Alas, the Banished refused to admit themselves defeated. Through their voices, they persisted in corrupting humanity. Through their blood, they defined the land we call our home. From that moment on, mankind would live in fear. Fear that one of the Dragon Lords, the most powerful of the Banished, would one day return to the surface. With the support of his Dragonkin, Saw Ichnog succeeded in escaping from his and brave souls, guided by the light, rose up and soldiers of the Order, righteous and faithful to the Eternal, who suffered body and soul after coming into contact with draconic corruption. Rare were those who remained impervious to the depraved whispers of the dragons on the outskirts of this gaping breach. One such person was Godefroy of Clerval, Grand Knight of the Order of the Eternal.
My strength fails me.
The voice of the Dragon Lord blighted people's spirits and petrified their bodies, instilling terror and madness into those who heard it. Never before had a breach so vast been rent between the two worlds.
My fire be cleansed! I can't anymore.
It was here, at this wound between worlds, that the corruption was most potent. One by one, haunted by the whispers from below, the people succumbed to madness.
I can't slay more.
Aparte del fuego que me quiere quemar. Esta weá que tiene solo
Pitiful in their wretchedness, and too weak to resist the command of their new masters, they drank the blood of the dragon and gave in to depravity.
I need to catch my breath.
Calla.
Ah!
No sé si mi tarro se la puede.
Thus enslaved, they were twisted into ghastly monsters, mockeries, Dragonkin.
I have no energy left. I try and be cleansed.
Así como va a sacar eso. Mira lata. No hay oro. Creo que saque Cuba.
Los ratos espíritus.
Alimañas mecánicas, fanáticos corruptos como dragón, acá. parte de esas piedras que rompí. Acá se viene algo.
Filled with these fleeting embers of hope, a few brave souls founded an alliance to carve the first breach into draconic defenses. Here, the Dragonkin's power was strong. It fused our world with that of the Banished. Godefroy of Clairval heroically broke through and shattered their defense barriers. This act of bravery, a feat of the righteous alliance of men, allowed me to lend aid to the Knights of the Order of the Eternal. Me, Almantir, Grand Oracle of Pythodurcan, Dragon Blood, a human altered but not consumed by the draconic blood that flows through my veins. My sisters and I have powers given to us by the dragon, but our souls remain our own.
Oh, está muy buena esta mona. Porque sí gasta un montón de energía haciendo
My strength fails me.
El ataque se carga.
Neither Dragonkin nor entirely human, and afforded extraordinary abilities by our forebears. By those who drank the blood of the only banished dragon to have ever repented before the Eternal.
Lo bueno es que con esta puedo pegar de súper lejos. Pero bueno, sobre todo en un juego tan jodido.
I need to catch my breath.
Ahí vamos. El otro ahí.
I am out of breath.
Hay un montón de weones acá. Los ocultos son como que cuesta más eliminarlos.
I have no energy left.
No, que se cansa. Lo único que... Bueno, acá se ven los botones que estoy usando, es lo único malo. No, acá ya hay más weas.
Catching my breath.
Hay dragones. que hay otro. Prefiero evitarlo. Ah, ya igual son dragones, pero son pequeños. Lo bacán es que es como dirigido el ataque. Dale, mierda. Épale.
My powers need more time.
Está ya, bueno, pasa tienda acá.
These few drops of draconic blood connected our thoughts to those of the dragons.
I have no energy left.
No puedo hacer un... ¿Qué hacía aquí? Ah. Voy a hacer un ataque más largo.
I am out of breath.
Está buena, se está cansando.
With that understanding came a vulnerability. We soon learned that we were at the mercy of their whispers. The voices threatened to consume us, with no hope of salvation.
Ah, no, si llegué para allá, pues está recansado. Espérame. X hace rayos. Dale, weón. Dale.
Strength fails me. Getting ready.
No alcanzan a pegar los weones. Igual me puedo mover.
I have no energy left.
Mucho. Con el chancho, weón. Con la oleada.
Catching my breath.
Our civilization fell alongside the blue dragon Pythodurcan, forcing us to live amongst men in the city of the Order of the Eternal.
bueno, ¿cuántos weones me quieren mandar acá los refugiados? Aburranse, demasiado.
I can't anymore.
Lo importante es que todavía ni salgo de acá.
I am out of breath.
Se está cansando la pobre wifi. De tanta porquería que me sale.
Closer to the breach made by Saw Ichnog, Godefroy, fighting fire with fire, confronted the draconic hordes. I battled by his side, but my strategy was less direct. My draconic power allowed me to open up a passageway for the men of Nuragard, all of them prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice to save what remained of humanity. Once this invisible barrier had been breached, they knew that their lives would hang by mere threads. But these warriors from the north cared little for the uncertainties of our plan. A hero's death in the heat of battle with their enemy was the greatest honor that could befall them. Led by the pale dragon blood Harald Truelson, the barbarian fleet had but one objective: to lure the enemy into the open sea and leave the path to the breach vulnerable. If a single vessel reached the coast, then this sacrifice would not have been for naught. Harald Truelson reached the hostile shore and avenged those fallen from the Toriel clan.
Ahora soy ese. Ese ataque, ese giro.
Not yet.
Ya, esto me gustó.
The barbarians of Nuragard feared neither pain nor death, and they welcomed violence as they might an old and familiar friend. Truelson knew this friend better than most. A select few, highly trained clansmen, risking their lives in the process, had successfully imbibed the pale dragon's blood without succumbing to the corrupting voices. Among them was Truelson.
caja de
To become a dragon
uniforme
blood
guardián.
barbarian, he paid the ultimate price and cast away a portion of his humanity. In exchange, he received draconic powers that he put to use for the Toriel clan, the Eternal, and humanity at large.
Puerto dragón, calma, calma.
Not yet. I must prepare.
Oh, me eché terrible rápido el dragón con este weón.
Get ready. I need to catch my breath. Not yet.
El dragón es malo. ¿Cagó?
Heals me.
Dale, mierda, no me estorbes.
Not yet. I must prepare.
Si no fuera porque me da tirones de repente sería pero espectacular. Mientras no de tirones en el combate está todo.
Not yet. I can't anymore.
Quieto. Está terrible, güey, que no
The
le va.
pale dragon blood had achieved his goal. The Alliance's plan, as unlikely as it was to succeed, could run its course.
Así que ya lo sé eso.
The barbarian waited for the signal that would tell him where to carve a bloody path through enemy defenses and lure the dragons far away from the breach. The Kongirati nomads, every bit as proud and as fearless as the warriors from the north, joined the alliance of men to help push back Sor Iknog, the Crimson Dragon. Sitting astride their draconic hybrids, these tracker archers faced the dragons steadfastly and seemingly without fear. Not one would allow the enemy to make easy prey of them. Hides, wings, teeth, blood. For the Kongirati, each draconic monstrosity was not only a threat, but also a quarry from which they could gain valuable resources. And where others had begged and prayed for divine salvation, these nomads made full use of anything the earth and providence offered them in order to survive.
Otra vez cambia de personaje. ¿Verdad? Ya. Ok. Ya va.
Their master tracker Eula, however, did not see things in such stark shades of black and white. Of all those who made up their number, she was the first to recognize the value of this eternal light.
Ah, ¿por qué
How
me da
long would her
tirones?
people be able to continue traveling freely if the corruption were to poison the entire world.
Si lograran corregir el tema de los tirones, eso sería Juega. Yo creo que el tema de los tirones es mi PC, no creo que sea otra cosa. Antes de que se vean como ese que está ahí. Bueno, los personajes, cualquiera de los que tiene, súper bueno. Obviamente me gustó el bárbaro, estoy acostumbrado a jugar con bárbaro, pero eso no quiere decir que ninguno de los personajes sea malo, está como súper bien balanceado. Dale, bueno.
To seal this union, the Order of the Eternal entrusted her with one of their most powerful relics, a single, glimmering scale of light. Each champion had one, and the power of their light would be needed to push Sor Iknog back into the shadows.
Es súper bueno. Creo que me gusta más que la dragona. Dale, weón. Este weón grandote me da wea.
My arm grows sore.
De mierda. Haz un demonio.
It was up to Eula, armed with her scale of light, to cast the invocation. She would then know whether she had been right to put her trust in the Order and in joining the Alliance. The power of the light was like nothing ever seen before. We heard the Dragon Lord howl into our minds, racked with pain and rage.
La idea es atrapar al dragón.
So close to the Dracomundus, our souls suffered as from 1,000 deaths, but we held fast to our positions. Inch by inch, the divine light pushed the corruption back into the breach. And it was thus that the banished lord saw Ignog disappeared once more into the shadows, where he would suffer eternal retribution. Once calm fell, we were all that was left, the sole witnesses to the feat accomplished by the alliance of men. But more than ever, we knew that the taint of draconic depravity still festered in the depths of the abyss, impatient to break free once more. Thus, from the union of men and their allies that stood together in the face of the draconic threat, an elite corps was established within the Order of the Eternal, the Dragon Hunters.
Qué buen prólogo. La cago. Bueno. Acá tendría que ser un personaje. Yo creo que me haría un bárbaro. Este weón igual me gusta. Pero no me... O sea, sí es muy bueno cuerpo a cuerpo. Estos son de control de masa a distancia. Este weón está muy bueno, está muy genial. El bárbaro. Esta es una de las nómadas que también es a distancia. Yo creo que vamos a... bárbaro. Y hasta acá lo vamos a dejar. Está muy bueno. Realmente está muy bueno.